This is a topic that I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm going to be talking about quite a few topics, actually. Um, just some things I wanted to get off my chest. You know, looking at World Cup qualifying and the fact how we're entering the final stages right before the World Cup draw is held this December, um, I wanted to take a look at a few teams I think are genuine contenders to win the trophy in Russia next year. Um, and talk about some sides I think could be potential surprises. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. There's really no intended one overarching goal for this video. I'm just going to be talking about just a whole bunch of different things. So this is sort of like a miscellaneous kind of rant. You know, I want to start off with teams I think who can win the World Cup. Um, Usual suspects like Germany, Spain, France, Brazil, Argentina. I would personally add Uruguay to that list based on how they've been in qualification. Second place right now in South America. Let's see who else. Who can win the World Cup? You could see Belgium go far. You could see Belgium go into repeat in the quarterfinals, maybe semifinals if the draw is kind to them. I don't think they can win the World Cup though. I still think they are not playing anywhere near their full potential. Um, Honestly, I think Portugal can win it. I do. I think Portugal can win it. Uh, I want to say Italy, but this has to be one of the more disappointing Italian national teams I've seen in quite a long time. I mean, they were very good at Euro 2016, but ever since Conte left for Chelsea, Italy just hasn't been the same. Um, I thought they were pretty good under Cesare Prandelli at both Euro 2012, and I thought in 2014 in the World Cup they were very unlucky to get drawn in such a very difficult group. But honestly, Italy in the last few years just haven't been themselves. They haven't been anywhere near the level of the Italian national team um, from the early to mid 2000s. So, you know, I think those teams can win the World Cup. Germany, Spain, Portugal, France, Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay. I would be surprised if somebody, oh, and Portugal, if somebody doesn't win it out of those names that I mentioned. And why am I talking about this now? Well, because we're at the almost at the end of World Cup qualifying. So you sort of get a picture with less than a year to go of what teams are in great shape to be genuine title contenders. And for the most part, the big names are up there, right? Maybe you add a couple more that wouldn't have been there before, like I mentioned Portugal and Uruguay. Some people think that maybe Spain does not belong in that list, but honestly, I think they do. I think Spain has rebuilt themselves very fast in just the space of a year. And I would still argue that Spain at Euro 2016 was an impressive side. Uh, so, if you want me to narrow it down, who do I think is probably going to win the World Cup next year? I think it right now, this moment in time, this is not a prediction. It's not. This is not a prediction, but I think it's probably going to be Brazil. I think Brazil is probably going to win it. Um, I don't know if Uruguay have the ability to go all the way. I don't know if Portugal Same thing with Portugal. I don't know if they can go, because the Confederations Cup for me highlighted a few concerns that I had. Um, Part of what their big overarching success at Euro 2016 was that they moved away from this reputation, rightfully or wrongfully, that they were over reliant on Cristiano Ronaldo, which, you know, they proved that they were not. But, you know, at the Confederations Cup, in that match against Chile, I thought they were outclassed throughout the pitch. I thought this was a tournament they would win. Um, I feel like Portugal is missing that little extra something. They're just missing that little extra something to go all the way. And Uruguay might be the same case as well. So, Spain, I can see Spain doing it. Uh, France, this is going to sound really unpopular. Really unpopular. While I think France has the individual talent to win the World Cup, I don't think they have the right coach in Didier Deschamps. I don't think. I don't think. I think France is basically a much more cohesive and a more compact, a stronger version of Belgium. In other words, they're more of a team than Belgium is, in my opinion. But they still are not led by the right manager. And I think the World Cup in 2018 will just be one tournament too short for France. I do. Uh, and then Italy, like I said, I just don't see that happening. Um, Germany can do it. We're talking about the most consistent team in World Cup history, especially in contemporary World Cup history. Uh, Really, the only two teams from Europe I can see winning the World Cup are Germany or Spain. And then from South America, I think it's either Brazil or Argentina. But here's the thing about Argentina: I don't trust them. I don't trust Argentina. If you told me I could put $100 bet on Argentina to win the World Cup, and if I was right, I would get $1,000. If I bet 100 and I was right, and I was told that I would get $1,000 for it, I still wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't trust them. Argentina are fundamentally untrustworthy in major tournaments. I'm sorry, they're not trustworthy. Look at the record. Quarterfinals on home soil in the Copa America. On home soil. Three finals losses in a row in 2014, 2015, and 2016. And it goes back farther than that because they lost, I believe, two or three Copa America finals between the 90s and the 2000s against Brazil. They lost, I remember, back in '04. They lost back in '07. In both finals, they were favored to win. They lost 3-0 to Brazil in '07. They lost to a Brazilian B team in the 2004 Copa America. They lost to Brazil in the final of the 2005 Confederations Cup. They lost the Confederations Cup back in like 1995 to Denmark. And speaking of the 90s, the last time Argentina has won a major men's national trophy, excluding the Olympics, was the year I was born, 1993. That was the last time they've won anything. With all the riches and talent that they have, especially having the best player on the planet for the last 11 years on their squad, they haven't been able to do it. It's just it's so ironic because you look at the Latin word, the Latin meaning for the name Argentina. Argentum is Latin for silver. Argentina literally means land of silver in Latin. When they named it that, Spanish explorers who found it, right? Here they are, an abundant collection of silver medals. How poetically tragic is that? So, if Argentina gets to the World Cup final, if they get to the World Cup final in 2018 and lose, I'm going to have to make a separate video on that. But, you know, it would just be not good at all. Hence why I'm making a separate video. But I look at other teams right now, and who do I see winning the World Cup? Like, who's in the best position to win the World Cup? Honestly, it's I think it's probably one of Germany, Brazil, or Spain. One of those three teams. And history is not on Germany's side. A country has not retained the World Cup trophy since 1962. I think Spain can do it. I like the way they look under Lopetegui, and the way they played against Italy in that 3-0 victory. Or was it 4-0? I don't remember. Um, it started to look like the old Spain again. The same hunger has returned after winning 3 consecutive major trophies in a row. And they sort of have not necessarily left Tiki Taka behind entirely, but they've transformed it. They've evolved it to become a more pragmatic, a more positive flow of football instead of just all that passing, 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 passing. So I think Spain are looking lethal, positively lethal right now. I like how Isco and Morata are linking up up front. They look really good. So, yeah, man, guys, I think one of those three teams is going to win the World Cup. You look how Tite has Brazil. This team looks deadly. Look at that defense, too. How many goals have they conceded with Tite? Like three or four goals in the last 10 games? I mean, come on. I don't believe in betting. I don't believe in gambling. Um, if I had to guess who's going to win the World Cup or what team is in the best position, I think it's Brazil. Not by much, but I think it is Brazil, and I think I would put Spain or Germany behind them. Maybe you can switch them up, maybe Germany and then Spain. But you know, that's just my thoughts right now. Um, yeah, those are my thoughts. I think Italy is nowhere good enough where they need to be. I think Belgium and France are being underused. I think Uruguay and Portugal just don't have just enough what it takes to do it. Um, so yeah, I mean those are my thoughts. So leave a comment below, like, subscribe. Um, what are your thoughts? I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, have a good night. Much love and peace out.